everyone, this is Nitesh from Indiahikes, and today I'm going to share one interesting story about these two gentlemen, Sir Tenzing Norgay and Sir Edmund Hillary, the very first person to scale Mount Everest or Mount Sagarmatha. Before they went on to climb this mountain, they had established a camp at the base of this mountain, and since 1953, this camp has only gained its popularity in the world that it is called as the Everest Base Camp. What are the 10 things you must know before you go on the Everest Base Camp trek? Here in this video, there are going to be these 10 chapters, and if you want to just know about this one particular thing, you can skip to that particular chapter by clicking on the slide bar. So let us know what are all the different routes to go for Everest Base Camp trek. And here there are these 3 widely known routes in the Sagarmatha National Park. The very first is the classic route. Majority of all the trekkers, opt this route to go to the Everest Base Camp, which is of 14 days. The second one is the Gokyo route. Here in the Gokyo route, you passes through the Gokyo Lake, Gokyo Ri and Chola Pass, which is of 18 days, and it is slightly difficult than the classic route. The third one is the 3 passes route, and it's the most difficult route among all these 3, and it's of around 20 to 22 days. And here you cross the 3 passes, which is Renjola, Chola and Kongmala Pass. In my next chapter, I'll be covering the itinerary of the classic route, but here I have a pro tip. You can install this app called maps.me. You can use this app to understand and know about this whole different routes in detail. Here in this chapter, let us understand how to plan your travel and reach the start point of the trek. Here Lukla is your main start point where the trek begins, but to reach Lukla, you'll have to reach Kathmandu. Kathmandu is the capital of Nepal, and it's very well connected with the international flights and well roads from India as well. That is from Gorakhpur and Raxaul, which is in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar respectively. So after reaching Kathmandu, you have 2 options to reach Lukla. The very first is, and also the majority trekkers takes that route, is taking a flight from Kathmandu to Lukla. And now to tell you, Kathmandu to Lukla are all these private flights or the charter planes which operates over here, and Lukla is at an altitude of 2800 meters. It's one of the most scariest and also most beautiful airports in the world. So you'll never regret of taking that flight. It's pretty expensive. You just need to go to the website and book it. Over here, I'll purely recommend you to keep a buffer day, a day or a 2 overall in the whole trek days as well, because these flights are often mischief of delays or cancellation or getting postponed because of the weather condition. Here, if you don't find flights directly from Kathmandu to Lukla, I'll recommend you to drive 4 hours from Kathmandu to go Ramechhap and get a flight to Lukla, because there have been multiple cases that finding flights from Ramechhap is quite easy than Kathmandu. The option 2 involves the road journey and as well as the trek journey to reach Lukla. From Kathmandu in Chabil Chowk, you will find a lot of SAV vehicles and the buses that goes till Saleri. It's a 12 hours of journey till Saleri, and after Saleri, you will find another vehicle, SAD vehicle, which goes till Bapsa, which is of 5-6 hours of journey. And after Bapsa, it's another 1.5 days of trek till you reach Lukla. Here the option 2 is the reasonable one, quite reasonable one, but it requires an additional day, like a 2 or 3 days apart from your classic route itinerary, and also an effort to reach over there. This is the most frequently asked question to me, that what is the permits, insurance or guides required on this particular trek. To do the Everest Base Camp trek, you need to have 2 permits. The very first one is the Khumbu Rural Municipality Permit, which is 2000 Nepali rupee, which you can take right outside Lukla Airport on the trail. The first one, and the second one is the Sagarmatha National Park permit. Here the second permit you can take on the way towards Namche Bazaar at a place called Moncho. It is 1500 Nepali rupee for all the SAARC country, which includes India as well, and for other citizen it's 3000 Nepali rupee. Here's my pro tip to you. Please click a picture of your permits in your mobile, because there are multiple checkpoints on the trail where you have to show your permits, and if you lose at any point of time, there would be a penalty which you will have to pay. Coming to the insurance part, insurance is something that is not mandatory for this trek, but here I would advise you to take the heli insurance before you go to the Everest Base Camp trek. The premium of the insurance would cost you around 20 to 25,000 Nepali rupee. You can take it from World Nomads or ASC 360, but whereas if an heli evacuation has to be carried out without the insurance, it would cost around 1.5 lakhs Nepali rupee. Here I would strongly advise to go with the insurance premium. That would give you some assurity and some safety on the trek. And if in case you would want to call out for the heli at any point of the trek, just approach to your tea house owner regarding the process, and they will help you. So now let us understand that how many days are actually required for you to do the Everest Base Camp trek. And here I am considering you're going on the classic route and not the other two routes, and how to plan your itinerary as well. Here, make sure you have your good 16 to 17 days to do the Everest Base Camp trek, where your day 0, yes, your day 0 would be flying down or reaching Kathmandu in itself and staying a day in Thamel. Thamel is a beautiful place and it's like a trekker's paradise spot in Kathmandu. Here I met trekkers all around the world and their stories to just listen. Along with that, Thamel is a spot where you get every sort of trekking gears, and the market in itself, it's a delight to just go around. So here your day 1 of the trek is going from Kathmandu to Lukla, where if you're going by flight, I suggest you please have your buffer days with you, 1, 2 and to and fro as well, considering the weather and the flights gets delayed quite often with the climate changing so rapidly. And here when you reach Lukla, you will feel the vibe and the air completely different. On your day 2, you go from Lukla to Phakding, which is 9 km of the trek, and here you gradually ascend and descend down to Phakding. Day 3, you go from Phakding to Namche Bazaar, and here you will cross the Sagarmatha National Park, and after that you will cross one of the longest suspension bridge on the Everest Base Camp trek at a very deep height, and that's an experience in itself. And after that you ascend and reach Namche Bazaar, and Namche Bazaar is like a town out of nowhere at 11,500 feet altitude, and here you get everything what a town could offer, and it's a vibe altogether at Namche Bazaar. On your day 4, I will highly recommend you to spend the day at Namche Bazaar acclimatizing over that at that altitude before you head ahead, and there you can go to the museum, and also you can go one of the highest point from where you see the first glimpse of Mount Everest. On your day 5, you go from Namche Bazaar to Tengboche, and here just merely about 2 hours of the trek, you will see a diversion which goes to Gokyo, but you take a right which goes towards Tengboche. Until Tengboche, it's 9 km of trek on that particular day with descent and ascent, and after reaching over there, I'll suggest you please go and visit the Tengboche monastery. It's one of the highest monastery and also one of the significant monastery for the Buddhist. On your day 6, you go from Tengboche to Dingboche. This day is going to be 11 km of trek where you will cross the tree line and enter into the alpine zone of Dingboche. Do not miss out the beautiful glimpse of Mount Amadablam, which you can't miss out. Your day 7 will be your acclimatization day at Dingboche itself. Go on a small hike near Dingboche and also soak in the whole energy, the whole vibration of that particular place. And also to add on, this would be also your last acclimatization day before you head towards the Everest Base Camp. Here on your day 8, you go from Dingboche to Lobuche, and on the trail you cross the Lobuche Pass, and just after that you will also witness the graves in the memory of those climbers who have passed on Mount Everest. And after that you enter into the valley of Lobuche, the valley of the Everest Base Camp. Here comes the most anticipated day of the Everest Base Camp trek. On the day 9, we go from Lobuche to Everest Base Camp by passing through Gorakhsep, where you drop your bags and everything in the tea house at Gorakhsep, and we further trek towards the Everest Base Camp. Once you reach Everest Base Camp, the feeling is altogether very different. Do not forget that it has carrying a lot of history, lot of geographical significance of this particular place, with Mount Nuptse standing right in front of you, the whole Khumbu Icefall Glacier, the whole climbing groups on one of the particular side, and ironically, we don't get to see the Mount Everest from there. Yes, that's true. And here comes the day 10. This day you start early in the morning at 3-4 a.m. Right in the dark, you ascend steep to the point Kala Pathar, which is also the highest point of the Everest Base Camp trek. Yes, you go till 18,200 feet altitude, and right at Kala Pathar, early in the dawn, you get to witness the sun rising just behind Mount Everest, and also the closest and also the most beautiful view of Mount Everest. Along with this, you also get to witness the high peaks of this particular region, where you see Mount Pumore, Khumbutse, Changse, Nupse, Amadablam and Thamserku, and furthermore as well. After this, we descend down to Gorakhsep. You take all your bags and we further descend down to Feriche. And after Feriche, your day 11 is gonna be from Feriche to Tengboche. That is your day 11. And on your day 12, you take the same route from Tengboche to Namche Bazaar. And on your day 13, you go from Namche Bazaar to Lukla. You stay at Lukla on your day 14, and after that, on day 15 is when you fly back from Lukla to Kathmandu if you are going by flight. So let us know what you can expect with the accommodation, food and the facility on the Everest Base Camp trek. Here at the Everest Base Camp trek, you will find tea houses at every day of your trek. And so it's not just one or two, there are a number of tea houses at one single place. And each of these tea houses, accommodate some, nice comfortable space for you to sleep, the food facility, the washroom facility, and also there is charging and Wi-Fi facilities as well. It comes at a cost at it differs from place to place, but 100, 150, 250 for an hour. And also I would recommend you to take an Everest Link Wi-Fi card for 10 or 12 days of package, which would work on most of the tea houses until Gorakhsep as well. Coming to the food, each and every tea houses offers a full-fledged menu from breakfast, lunch to dinner to all the fancy food as well. Having momos at 17,000 feet at Gorakhsep. But here I would advise you to go for dal bath at least once in a day, because it's really filling, nutritious, and you can take n number of servings as well. About the cost, you can expect 2,500 Nepali rupee as your average cost of the day for the food alone, which will vary from the lower altitude. As you climb up, it would vary and it will increase as you reach Gorakhsep. Let us understand what's the difficulty and what's the preparation required for the Everest Base Camp trek. And here, it's an out and out pure difficult trek to be considered. And why I tell that? Because expect that every day you are gonna trek around 10 kilometers in an average, where the terrain would vary from a muddy trail to rocky laid trails with steep descents and ascents in both the way when you approach towards Everest Base Camp and while you come back as well, with hike along the ledges of the mountains to some of the bouldery patches, negotiating those things. So having a good fitness is very much required for this particular trek. To understand how to prepare for this particular trek, let us divide into two criteria. One is your cardio strength. Here with your cardio strength, you should be able to jog 10 kilometers easily with around 1 hour 10 minutes of your timing, considering thrice or 4 times in a week, followed by swimming, cycling. This could be alternate days, and coming to your strengthening exercises, your core strength and your lower body strength. Here you can go with squats, plank and few HIIT trainings for you to build your core and your lower body strength to navigate through those tricky sections and be nimble at your feet. With respect to the guides required for the Everest Base Camp trek, you will find a lot of floating information in the internet that guide is mandatory or something that is not mandatory. Here, as of April 2024, that you can do this particular trek on your own without a guide. Just make sure you have these permits with you, those 2 permits, and but keep a check on the official websites of Nepal if the rules changes in future. So let us know about the safety and acclimatization on the Everest Base Camp trek. Here, with my whole experience on being in this particular trek, whether you're in a group or you are alone, man or a woman, it's completely safe on this whole Everest Base Camp trek. But here is something that can really stop your whole trek, and that is if you get hit by AMS, acute mountain sickness. And this is something I have seen quite often on this particular trek, that the trekkers trek gets derailed as soon as they get hit by AMS, and for that you need to really get acclimatized well. So here are the following things which you need to follow in order to get acclimatized for this Everest Base Camp trek. The very first thing which I'll recommend is to go on a Diamox course. Diamox is a diuretic pill which helps you to get acclimatized, where you can take a half tablet, that is 125 mg in the morning and same in the night, continuing for the whole trek and stopping when you come back where you have started that particular course. That could be Kathmandu or Lukla as well. The second is to hydrate well. Make sure you are drinking enough water, not getting dehydrated on the whole trek. Here, I will recommend you to take the stream water or the fresh water in the whole trek instead of buying the packaged bottle, and it's completely safe. The third thing is to make sure you are layered well for this trek. Don't get exposed to this windy air and the cold environment without your layers, and keep your head covered every single time. The fourth one is to have an average pace for the whole trek, that you're not exerting yourself, and followed by the fifth point, that is to use your acclimatization day. Acclimatization day is something you spend one whole day at that particular altitude by gaining an height and coming back to your tea houses, where 2 of the days you can use your acclimatization day. One is at Namche Bazaar and second is at Dingboche. So let us understand that what is the best time to do this particular trek, that is Everest Base Camp. Here there is just 2 beautiful windows which you can actually go, that is pre-monsoon and post-monsoon. Here in Nepal, the pre-monsoon months are March, April and May. These are the 3 months where you could go, and the second is by the mid of September till October till mid-November is the second post-monsoon, which is the autumn time. What are the advantages of both this time is that you get good clear window to get a beautiful view of those mountains with lesser precipitation in the sky as well. Whereas the other months, which is the December, Jan, Feb, are the peak winter months where it snows heavily and gets inaccessible at times. And considering after May is where the monsoon clouds come in, where it pours heavily during the month of May end, June, July and August. So here, this is the best time where you could do this particular trek. Since it has a very limited window to do this particular trek, you can expect a decent amount of crowd coming on this particular trek. Let us understand what are the things that are only required you to take on this particular Everest Base Camp trek. Since over here you will find tea houses continuously on this particular trail, you need not worry about your camping gears to be carried on this particular trek, and same with your food as well, which will be taken care by the tea houses. So that comes to a very limited things that you need on this particular trek, starting from head to toe, that is your sun cap, your sunglasses, head torch or hand torch, a balaclava, to your dry fit t-shirt, that could be 4 to 5 dry fit t-shirts with having a fleece, a padded jacket, a wind cheater or a rain jacket on the top, and thermal is something optional if you are going in the late October and November, only then. Coming to your lower, your one trek pant what you will wear on the trek, and 2 as your backup, both the dry fit trek pants, and come to your socks where you can have 8 to 9 pairs of quick dry socks with your high ankle shoe, waterproof shoe. You have your 2 trek poles with you, your waterproof hand gloves on this particular trek. And here, as a pro tip, it's better if you can wear your double trek pant on the days when you go to Kalapathar or other day when you feel really cold. And finally, coming with your rain wear, like I told you, a rain jacket or a poncho that covers your backpack as well. In addition to this, make sure you carry your original ID card, your toiletry kit, your 2 water bottle which you can refill on this particular trail, the cash required for this particular trek, and 45 to 55 liter rucksack that can fit in all these things easily. So here's the final. Let us know what would be the cost for any one individual to do the Everest Base Camp trek. And here, at a minimum, I'm expecting for anyone to spend 50,000 Nepali rupee from Lukla to back to Lukla, which is 14 days. Here, I'm considering 3 things, which is your food, accommodation and permits. And now coming to the external or the add-on things which will come into your cost, that is your flight. If you're flying down to Lukla, can expect nearly about 25,000 Nepali rupee to and fro at minimum. Then comes your insurance part, which could roughly go till like 20,000 Nepali rupee. And third thing comes if you're taking a guide along with you. So altogether, this will be your cost to do the Everest Base Camp trek. So here was the ultimate guide to do the Everest Base Camp trek. I hope you really liked it, and also make sure you share it with all your Everest Base Camp lovers who are planning to go there. In future, we will be making further more ultimate guide videos for particular treks. If you have any recommendation, please let us know. Until then, this is Nitesh from Indiahikes signing off.
This video is an Indiahikes initiative to ensure you trek safely, sustainably and mindfully. Thank you for watching.